Hello friends, welcome back to Ball Homestead. Today we're busy in the kitchen and we're trying to preserve some jalapenos, and our favorite way to preserve jalapenos is jalapeno poppers. So we're going to get going on that and get these jalapenos cut and ready to fill with yummy delicious filling. I go through and cut all of them in half. I do about half at a time, and then I will scoop out the middles and then we will fill them. Here I am after I've scooped all that filling out. I'm just putting them in a Ziploc bag because I wasn't sure if I was going to do this today. I was out of cream cheese and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and just put them in the freezer and I'll do them another day. Then later I decide to go ahead and make a different kind. But I can't use them all today, so we're going to put them in the cooler. Now we're going to get going making some bacon ranch burgers. Today is my husband's birthday, and there is nothing better than a good burger. So I decided to take some of our yummy homegrown beef that we got from our local farmer over the weekend, and we are going to add some yummy stuff to this and let it set in the fridge for a bit. Now to this hamburger, we're going to add some bacon. We had some small pieces of bacon left yesterday, and I put them in a Ziploc bag and saved them for this purpose, which I always try to use leftovers in a different way if we're not going to eat it the way it is. Now we're going to add a packet of ranch seasoning, and we're going to take our hands and mix that all together until it's all mixed well. These burgers turned out absolutely amazing. I will be making these more throughout the summer. They were so delicious. They were even Wayne approved, and Wayne's a pretty picky eater. He loved them. So I'm glad that I decided to do this because they were so yummy. I did add 1 egg to this to help kind of bind that meat together a little better. And we're going to mix that egg in, and then we're going to get it into the refrigerator and let it set for a while. My next project was Wayne's breakfast. We had some fried potatoes and some sausage left, so I took that, added about 8 eggs to it, and made some burrito mix. And we are going to put some cheddar cheese on these shells and make up a few burritos for his breakfast. I decided, he hadn't had any burritos in a while, and there's quite a few days that I don't feel like cooking when I get in. So I decided to just go ahead and use our leftover potatoes and sausage from breakfast and make him another meal out of it. My motto is waste not, want not, and so I try to always use up what we have. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes things give to Lola or the cat, but most of the time I do try to reinvent whatever we have left over. And I think he'll like this because who doesn't love meat and potatoes? So anyways, we ended up getting 6 burritos out of that. I froze 4 and put 2 in the refrigerator for his breakfast in the morning. So that right there is great in my book because that gives me 2 more days of not having to cook a breakfast. But I probably won't give them back to back because who wants to eat the same thing every day? So anyways, I will have some for future use, and it's nice to have those in the freezer so that I can grab them out and have a quick breakfast on those days that I'm just wore out. Also, I decided to do some oven roasted potatoes. I just diced my potatoes up, tossed them in a little olive oil, sprinkled some seasoning on them, and got them into the oven. Now I'm going to work on the dog some food. Our dog in the summertime always gets real skinny. She doesn't like hard food. She is very particular about it. One day she may eat it, the next day she just refuses. And so I went and grabbed some mixed vegetables I had put up a couple of years ago and tossed a jar of that into my pressure canner here. or pressure cooker. And I'm getting a couple of leg thighs out of the freezer, and we're going to put that in there along with some water, and we're going to make her some dog food. This is something that when she won't eat anything else, she will eat this. She loves this. I've made it on and off for her whole life. We've had Lola about 3 years, and she does this all the time. She goes through phases where she just won't eat store-bought food. So I always, whenever she does that, I revert back to making her food again. Okay, I decided to go ahead and do the jalapeno poppers. We're just going to do them a little different than I usually do. I found a recipe online that was super simple, and I had everything available for it. So what we're going to do is brown up about 1.5 pounds of sausage. I popped 1 pack into the microwave, and this was what we had that I hadn't cooked with breakfast left. So we're going to get that all browned up, and then we will go to our next step. Once our sausage is good and browned, we're going to add a couple of 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, and we're going to get that mixed in with the meat. I just leave my heat on so that it kind of melts that cream cheese and makes it really nice for a filling. Whenever I make these every year, and usually I do this with cream cheese and Parmesan cheese, but today we're going to use cheddar. That was what a recipe online suggested, so I thought, you know what, we're going to give it a try. I had plenty of cheddar cheese, and I have a ton of jalapenos to fill, and this won't be our first batch to make for the year. I usually put up around 500 to 700 jalapeno poppers in the freezer every year, because when we go to family get-togethers or whatever, I love to have these handy in the freezer to take out, pop on a cookie sheet in the oven, and in a few minutes I have something to take. And I haven't spent all day in the kitchen working on it. So this is not only for convenience, but during the height of the growing season, when we're getting all these jalapenos in, I have to have various recipes to use them up in ways that we enjoy eating them. And jalapeno poppers are probably my favorite. Now that our mixture is pretty much melted, I mean, there's still a few chunks, but I feel like the pan's hot enough to melt that on out. We're gonna add some cheddar cheese to this. Just wanna get a good mix on it. Alright, I have some here, and we're going to use probably, let's see, put probably about like that and get that mixed in. Now we're going to just fill our poppers, and we'll flash freeze these, and once they're frozen, I will vacuum seal them. And we will enjoy these all throughout the winter, and it makes it so nice and easy to have these prepared, because if you need them for a party or whatever, you can just grab out however many bags you think you're going to need. We're just going to take a spoon and fill these. And I try to fill them pretty healthy, because I like that filling, and I love jalapeno poppers. They're probably one of my favorite things that we end up making with our garden goodies. And Wayne, he enjoys them also, but I think they're probably my absolute favorite. All right, we're just gonna keep working along here until we get all these jalapenos filled. We end up getting 2.5 trays, which I'm pleased with. I have about half of the bag of jalapenos left when we're done. So I will work on the others probably tomorrow, and I'll either do the same kind that we did today, or I might decide to do some other kind. It's nice to have a variety in your freezer of different things, and it's nice to have convenience food in your freezer also. These are probably one of my go-to quick fixes when we're in a bind of going somewhere or something. I don't have anything to quick for supper, and we'll have a burger and maybe some jalapeno poppers, and it just makes it so nice to have these in the freezer. All right, now we're going to I got my skillet good and washed. I love this skillet. I got it at Goodwill for like $2, and it's the best little skillet ever. I'm a huge thrift store shopper. We're gonna make our patties for our burgers. We're just gonna patty those out. I'm gonna do them, not super thin, but not super thick. And we're gonna get those frying. We did 2 pounds of beef, whatever bacon we had left over from our BLTs last night, and a packet of ranch. And we're gonna call these ranch cheddar burgers because I have some cheddar and some Swiss cheese in there we're gonna put on these. Wayne's a cheddar fan, I'm a Swiss fan, so it'll be win-win. And then he can take leftovers for work tomorrow. And we're just gonna let those cook. I think they're gonna be absolutely delicious. This meat smells so good, and I'm so thankful that we have a local farmer we can now buy our beef from. We had done that for years, and then when we couldn't find it, we'd buy it from the local butcher shop. But that place has since went out of business, and we were kind of, on the search, and we found these people. I've known them all my life, and they're wonderful people. I didn't realize they sold beef, and I'm so thankful that we found them, because we both love homegrown goodness. We are not about the big box stores and all that. I did put a small amount of lard in my skillet because this beef is very lean, and I wanted a little bit of grease, in there. I guess we could take a look at those potatoes real quick and see if they need to be uncovered. While we are waiting, yes, we'll go ahead and uncover these and get them back in to brown up some. I thought about grilling these, but Wayne would have to do it, and it's his birthday, so I thought, well, we're just going to fry them. We're going to melt some cheddar on them. He loves cheddar cheese, and he will love it. I think while those burgers are cooking, I want to slice a tomato out. Wayne and I enjoy a tomato, and this is a vintage wine. It's got some bad spots on it, but we're going to cut that out. These tomatoes are absolutely delicious. I will plant them every year now. He and I both have thoroughly enjoyed these. I'm glad that I gave them a try. They're kind of a green and orangey red stripe, and they are so good. I'm probably just going to slice up one of these tomatoes because that'll be enough for today. He always takes tomatoes to work whenever we have plenty, so he will have tomatoes to add to his stash. All right, we're going to add our cheddar to the tops of these, and I think I'll add Swiss to one, but I know he is going to really enjoy the cheddar because he loves cheddar cheese, and I really needed to use this up. We just haven't had a need to use it, and so I have not used it. Gonna let that melt. Swiss here. I'm gonna add a slice of that to my Once that gets good and melted, we'll put together our potatoes. I turn the broiler on to kind of crisp those potatoes up. And then we'll have one more batch of burgers, which I'm going to go ahead and get cooked because I know, I think they'll get eaten. I hope so. That's quite a bit of burgers for us, but we'll see. We'll get these out. And our next batch started. We are out of mayonnaise at the moment, so I decided to make some. All you do is take one egg, and I'm going to put a little Dijon mustard in mine along with some oil. And we're going to start out by just adding a little bit of oil and using our immersion blender to blend and emulsify those two together. I really wanted it a little bit thicker, but it turned out really tasty anyways. But next time I may try it a different way. Maybe in a jar or something. The one I'd seen was in a jar and it just really got thick. I don't know if that's what it was, but they had added all their oil to theirs at once, where I just added a little bit at a time to mine. So I don't know if that was the difference or what. But this turned out really tasty. I'm adding a little more oil here, and I'm just going to keep working that around, and I will end up adding some salt, pepper, and a little dash of barbecue. We're making like a barbecue mayonnaise here for these burgers. And let me tell you, it was the exact right touch they needed. It was so delicious. Those burgers are a must try, friends. A must try. They were so simple and so good. Here's Wayne's birthday cake. It's a butter pecan cake with salted caramel frosting along with caramel and chocolate drizzle. As you can see, our chicken is very well done. Now we're going to add a few cups of rice to this and turn it back on for about 10 minutes, and then the dog food will be done. All right, the dog food is finished. I wanted to show you, I'll leave bones and all in there because she will enjoy those. Those bones are kind of falling apart at this point from being pressure cooked so long. But once this cools, I will put it in the refrigerator and she will eat on this all week, and I'll repeat the process next weekend. This is something that our dog loves, and I don't mind making it for her because she's such a sweetheart. Anyways, thank you for stopping back by our homestead. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We appreciate every one of you. Until next time, friends, goodbye.